Hello and welcome back to the podcast. It's been a while, but I am excited to be back. I've officially moved into my new house, so this is my first video in the new house, which is why we are in this setup, because my office is not currently done, but it's completely fine, and we're gonna roll with it, and we're gonna have a great podcast episode. So what I want to talk a bit about today is a little bit more about pivoting your business, changing your niche, and different things like that. I have tried changing my niche a lot over the past couple months and really have done a lot with that and made a lot of random decisions and changed my mind a lot. And so I want to talk a little bit more about that because I know a lot of people struggle with that, whether it's choosing a niche or changing your niche or just figuring out what direction to put your business in. So over the time of me deciding to change my niche or not deciding to change my niche, I've learned a lot about what to do, what not to do, and there were a lot of pitfalls that I didn't expect to happen that I want to make sure that you are prepared for when and if you change your niche. So let's get into it. The first thing to know is changing your niche is a big decision and one you really need to stick with, you need to be confident in, and you need to be ready before you do it. Because sadly, the way that algorithms work is they see people as one-dimensional, and people are just not that way. We have many different interests, things we like to do, hobbies, and just in general, people are complex. They do not have one interest. They are not one-dimensional the way that algorithms like to think that we are. Because online, you don't really get to see more than one side of a person. As a content creator, we typically share one interest, one aspect of our life, and that's because of the way that content is pushed out to people in algorithms. Like for me, I post about content creation. Other people might post about cats, or dancing, or organization, or gardening, but they will post about one thing typically, and that is all that you see, despite the fact that they have many other interests. And people will watch that content. But if I post something totally off the wall, people might not watch that content. And even if it's a good video, YouTube will push that video out to my current subscribers who are interested in my current content. And when they see that that video does not do very well because people are not interested in seeing that type of content from me, they won't then try to push it out, usually, like they will, but they won't really try to push it out to other people right away who are interested in that topic because it's just an algorithm. It is not a person that goes and says, this person's going to like this video and this person. It's all automatic. It's all algorithm. So they say, okay, you want to post about one topic. You are going to gain traction and people that like this topic, and that is going to be it. And we are going to push that topic out to those people. So if I start posting about gardening on this channel, chances are a lot of you probably aren't going to be either interested in gardening or interested in hearing about gardening from me specifically. And so YouTube isn't going to push it out to people who like gardening right away because they're just going to think it's a bad video since no one has watched it. And why is this relevant? It's relevant because if you want to switch your niche, this is going to happen for your first couple of videos until YouTube starts to realize, oh, they want to be known for this topic. Oh, they want us to push this content out to people. We need to now find these people instead. Because if you switch your niche drastically, and YouTube never stops trying to promote your video, they'll promote it less and less and less and less and less depending on how the video does. So if the video does bad, they're going to promote it less. But eventually, if you keep posting on that topic, people are eventually going to find you. YouTube is going to find the right audience, and then you're going to gain traction again. So you're basically like starting from zero when you change your niche. And that's why I say you need to be really involved in your decision and you really need to be concrete and 100%, yes, this is what I want to do. I'm okay with basically starting from zero. I'm okay with seeing these stats that are not as good as I'm used to, because if you're used to seeing a certain amount of views on your current content and then you switch, you're probably not going to be seeing those views on that content right away on the new content. In fact, it's almost guaranteed. Unless it's really, really, really close to your current niche. If you switch niches at all to a completely different topic, you're probably not going to see those same results that you're used to seeing right away, which might make you say, oh, this isn't working. People don't want to hear this from me. I'm going to go back to my old content, which isn't necessarily the case. You just have to give YouTube the time to find that audience that is interested in your current content. And this goes for your blog, for your TikTok, for your Instagram, for your YouTube. It goes for everything. Because let's say you're doing this on your blog as well. You're changing the niche on your blog. Your typical channels for driving traffic to your blog are also going to need to catch up as well, because everywhere has an algorithm. If you are posting about crochet content, Pinterest knows that your account is all about crochet. Pinterest knows that your audience likes crochet. They know where to send these pins out to. If you start posting about woodworking, Pinterest is going to be like, what the heck are you doing? Like, what are any of these pins about? We have no idea what is going on with your account. Because like I said, there's no people behind the algorithm. It's just a machine that feeds people what they want based off of keywords. So just something that you need to be prepared for. And like even your email list. If you have a email list full of people who like gardening, posting about swimming, you're not going to be able to send that post to people, or you could, but they're probably not going to click on it. They might unsubscribe. Your followers on Instagram will be confused. This is just stuff you need to be prepared for. And it's going to be fine in the end. Like, it'll be okay. Just in the beginning, it's going to suck a little bit. Now, so let's get into a few of the questions that you can ask yourself about finding a new niche, because maybe you know you want to find a new niche, but you don't exactly know what you want to move into and you don't really know where to go. And you pretty much are just going to be doing the exact same thing that you would have done when you found your first niche. You're going to be asking yourself the same questions. Like, what are you interested in? What are other people interested in? Could it make you money? Are there other successful blogs on this topic? Because I get quite a few questions from people asking me, like, is this specific niche a good niche to go into? Or I have a bunch of different options for niches. How do I combine them to make everybody happy? And like, how do I not confuse people, or which niche do I choose? And for the first question, the first thing I tell people to do is research. When you want to know what is a good niche to be in or switch into, you want to find blogs that are already thriving in that niche. What is the competition in the niche that you want to be in? Because competition is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a good thing. If you want to start a blog on something super obscure and you can't find a single blog on that topic, or anybody who seems to be interested in that niche at all, that's probably not a good niche to be in. Because one of two things is true with the topic that you're wanting to go in. Either you have found the jackpot, rainbow, gold mine of a niche that people are interested in and no one is talking about, which is not likely the case. Or what is more likely is no one's interested in that topic. If there's no audience and there's no money to be made, you should pick a different niche. Because everything that is anything has already been written about and talked about on the internet. Nothing on the internet is 100% unique. Not even me, not even this advice that I'm giving you. All the information that I'm giving you, I've either learned myself or learned from other people. And I'm just giving it to you in a way that made sense and worked for me. That's typically what everything is on the internet, is just people are learning from their own experiences based off of what they learned from other people. Stuff like that. Nothing on the internet is 100% unique. Chances are you are never going to find something that people haven't written about before. So if you want to write on that topic and you see that no one has written on that topic, chances are there's a good reason for it. That means there's no money, there's no audience, there's nothing to be made from that topic. But if there is competition, there's money to be made, there is an attention to grab and an audience to grow, which is a good thing. And then there's also trying to decide between two different topics. I get this question a lot too. I have two different topics that I'm interested in. How do I either combine them to make sure people aren't confused? How do I choose between the two? Here's a few different things that you can do. Write about all of your topics that you're interested in. Usually it's one or two people are trying to choose from. Write about all the topics and see which ones you're interested in. Write about them, promote them, and see which ones your audience is going to be interested in. And then you can narrow down from there, figuring out what you like to write about, what your audience likes to write about, what seems to be gaining the most traction, what seems to be able to make you the most money. Start out broad and then narrow down. Or you can pick your favorite. I've heard people struggle with, well, I'm in school for this, but this is really my passion and what I really want to write about. Pick this one. Pick your passion. You always want to pick what you're passionate about because that is going to take you further than something you are not particularly interested in. I also hear a lot about my job is on this topic, but I don't feel like I know a lot about it, or I'm no expert in this niche, or I am going to school for this topic and I am interested in it, but I want to graduate first. I want to learn more before I go into this topic. Basically, like, I don't feel like I have enough knowledge to be talking about this. And my advice for that is usually 9 times out of 10, don't wait and start a blog on that topic anyway. If you are passionate about it, if you know a little bit about it, if you're willing to learn more about that topic, don't wait and just start the blog. The only time that I would say maybe you should wait is if you are trying to give your audience advice on something super big, super serious. You're a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're giving like life potentially life-altering or life-threatening advice on a blog and you don't know 100% of the details. Then I would say, okay, yes, you should learn everything that there is to learn before you start giving this advice. You don't want to be spreading misinformation on like life-altering advice, like, medical advice, lawyer advice, financial advice to a degree, something that's really going to screw somebody's life up if you give them misinformation. But if your topic or advice, like you're learning about plants, you're learning about crochet, you're learning about cooking, 99% of topics you're just talking about from your experience, and it's okay to not know everything that there is to know. I do not know everything that there is to know about blogging. I'm still learning. And if you are willing to continue to learn about that topic, if you have like 10 blog posts or you have 1, maybe 2 months of content that you could write about and you're willing to learn more on the topic, you have enough to start a blog. Why wait? What's the point? You're going to keep learning as you go, and you can always go back and edit blog posts later. So you can change your niche to a niche that you don't know a lot about. You can start a blog on a niche you don't know a lot about, and it's going to be okay. And I wouldn't worry about changing your niche. I know I worried about it a lot because you're going to be choosing the option that you're most passionate about, and it's going to be a bit difficult, and there's going to be growing pains, but it's going to be okay in the end. I've tried to change my niche like 4 times at this point. I keep changing my mind. I keep saying I'm going to change my niche, and then I put a few videos out on that topic, or I put a few blog posts out on that topic, and then I take them back. I've done it a million times at this point, and I used to think that me not being able to make a decision in my business was a bad thing, or it was like hindering me, but then I realized it's not really, because it's totally okay to change your mind. It is 100% fine to change your mind, to decide to do something and then take it back, and it's okay, because really all we're trying to do is just test things out, and that is a good trait to have as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, in my opinion. Sure, you want to stick to your decisions and like see them through, but once you realize they aren't working anymore, it's time to move on, and you've got to stop dwelling on a decision and just make it. Either like keep going with the decision, roll with it, or move on. If it's not working, move on. It's totally fine. Good business owners don't wait days on a decision and then worry about the outcome. They just make a decision, figure out what's the best outcome, and then make that decision. Now, I'm not saying you need to be like super impulsive and quit your job at $0 and go live off in the woods and try to start your own cat sanctuary for money. Like, we have to be realistic here, but making decisions, risk-taking, changing your mind, all of these things are okay to do. I also want to talk about the technical side of changing your niche as well, because a few years back at this point, I made the decision to change my blog name from businesswomenthrive.com to sarahmarie.com. And there were things that came up that I wasn't expecting. So the name change itself was pretty easy. SiteGround, which is the hosting company that I always recommend, it's the hosting company that I still have. They helped me with a lot of the changes. It was super easy. That in itself was super easy. All of the links were redirected because Business Women Thrive was still active, and everything was fine until I stopped paying for Business Women Thrive. Then everything went to shit. Links broke on my site, photos broke, and the one thing that I didn't think about was all of the Pinterest pins that I put up that were driving me traffic broke. They were no longer leading to my site, they were leading to nowhere. So of course, when you change your blog name and your .com, you need to change out all of your links so that they redirect properly. And at first, if your old link is still active, they're going to redirect just fine. At least I know they do a SiteGround. I don't know how it works everywhere else. I assume they're going to redirect just fine. But as soon as you stop paying for your old domain name, like I did, because I thought, I don't need this anymore, I'm not going to pay for it for another year, that's when things start to break. For some reason that I can't explain, my WordPress photos stopped showing up. Like, I have Gutenberg, and so all of my blog posts are written in blocks, and all of those blocks with my photos stopped working. I don't know why, but I needed to change all of them out because they were not showing up properly. And then I got marked as spam on Pinterest, which was weird to me. At first, I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know why my stats were kind of literally just falling out of the sky. And then I realized that I was marked as spam on Pinterest, and I still didn't know why, but I was able to get the issue fixed. I talked about being marked as spam on Pinterest in this video right here to find out. The reason I was probably marked as spam on Pinterest was all of my businesswomenthrive.com links that led to blog posts that I had pinned, which was thousands of them. All of them were broken. All of them were leading nowhere, which is considered bad practice on Pinterest if you have a bunch of links that you're pinning that lead to nowhere. Whether they lead to someone else's site or they lead to yours, it doesn't matter. If you are pinning a bunch of spammy links, a bunch of links that lead to nowhere, a bunch of links that lead to like misleading places, can get you marked as spam on Pinterest, can really hurt your account. And I had a ton of them. So I went through and started trying to change out the links to match the current links, but I noticed I couldn't update a lot of them because they were repinned by people. So I had to go through and delete thousands of Pinterest pins, that led to my old link, which is something that I was not expecting that I had to do. It was a disaster. Would I still have changed my blog link? Yeah, I think I still would have, knowing all of this stuff, but it would have been nice to know at the beginning. So I'm not saying this to you to like discourage you or like freak you out or like, whatever. I think if you want to change your blog name, if you want to change your niche, you should do it. I just want you to be aware, this is some of the stuff that you're going to have to deal with if you do decide to change. And I talked about deleting all of my Pinterest pins in this video right here, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that. And there's also a lot of rebranding that goes into changing your niche. Your URL may need to change. All of your socials are likely going to have to change. And maybe your @name needs to change. Maybe your brand colors needs to change. Your email, if you have a specific email, that will need to change. These are things that you just need to think about before changing your niche. And at this point, I really thought I would have changed my niche because like I said, I've made that decision quite a few times at this point, and then I always end up kind of going back on my word a little bit, which is fine because I'm testing things out and it's okay. And I've deleted videos and I've deleted blog posts and it's fine. But one of the things that you need to worry about when changing your niche, if you decide to put blog posts out there, you're going to have broken links on your site if you promote those and then later decide to take them down. And broken links hurt your website. Now, if you take down YouTube videos, that's not really going to hurt your channel, but on WordPress and like blogging and like SEO purposes, if you put a bunch of blog posts on your blog and you decide to take them down, those links are still going to lead to your site, but they're going to lead to an error 404 page, which hurts your SEO, hurts your readability on Google, all of those things. So you want to be careful and make sure, like I said, you stick to your decision when you make it, because if you don't, like me, you're going to have a bunch of broken links. Now, I'm currently using Rank Math SEO to go through and check all of the broken links, and some of them are going to end up leading to nowhere because I have nowhere to lead them. If I have like a blog post that used to relate to a topic and it no longer does now, I'm just going to redirect it to a different category. So like, for example, if I have a blog post on one topic, but it fits a specific category, but the blog post is gone, I'm just going to link it to like my lifestyle category, or I'm going to link it to my like making money category so that people can hopefully find another blog post on my blog to read as opposed to the one that they went there to read. They're likely still going to click off if they see that blog post doesn't exist, but it's better than redirecting everything to my homepage, because then I have a bunch of useless traffic to my homepage and people are going to be like, this isn't what I wanted, and immediately click off, versus hopefully maybe finding another blog post that's interesting to them. And then the rest of the links that are broken, I also have a 404 redirect to homepage plugin. I think that's what it's called. And all of the other links that I can't redirect anywhere are just going to go to my homepage. I'm just trying to like minimize the amount that's broken. This is a good plugin to have in general because the 404 redirect, that way it doesn't link to a 404 redirect page, which will hurt your SEO. It's just going to link to your homepage, which is less hurtful because it at least leads somewhere as opposed to just leading nowhere. Another thing I noticed if you are a smaller channel or a smaller blogger is don't worry about your audience when it comes to changing your niche. When I was testing out other video topics, I expected people to unsubscribe in droves. I expected them to leave hate comments and wonder where my old content was, and overall just like hate what I was doing. But none of that actually happened. Most people didn't notice that I even changed my niche. Like, most people had no clue what was going on. And that's because people don't pay as much attention to you as you think that they do. I know we are so involved in our own businesses that we think everybody else knows everything that we're going on. I guarantee you there's some people right now that they might have no idea what my blog name even is. They might have never landed on my blog. They have no idea that I have Pinterest services. They have no idea that I have blog coaching. They have no idea that I have products, despite the fact that I feel like I talk about it all the time. There are a lot of people that don't watch every single one of your videos. They don't read every single one of your blog posts. They don't see every single one of your posts, which is why it's so important to like talk about these things a lot and like mention like, hey, I have blog coaching services, because someone watching this video might want blog coaching from me and have no idea that that's even an option. So it's okay if you change your niche. People are probably not going to notice. And if they do, they're going to unsubscribe, and that's fine. Or they're not going to read, and that's fine, because I have people unsubscribing from my content every single day. But I have more people subscribing to my content every single day. So if you switch your content, people are going to unsubscribe, but it's okay because they got value in your content at one point, and now they no longer get value in that content that you're going to be posting in the future. And that's okay because they're just making room for more people to come in. Like, more people are going to subscribe to your current content that you're more happy making. So put your happiness first when it comes to changing your niche or deciding what niche you want to be in. because people will come and go in your business every single day, whether or not you are happy with your content. So the thing that is most important is you being happy with whatever content it is that you're posting. Bottom line is stick to it. It's going to be okay. And people are going to come and go no matter what. So don't worry about SEO, views, watch time, anything like that. All that stuff is going to come back. It's going to take a little bit of time to build back up, but it is going to be okay. And I hope this was helpful when it came to changing your niche. And if you're interested in checking out more on this topic, check out this video about when you know it's time to pivot your niche, or this video on how I was running my business wrong, because both of these relate very closely to this topic and they'll be helpful for you. So make sure to check those out and like if you like, subscribe to my channel down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.